The moment everything changed didn't come with a warning. It came like a shockwave. One move, one decision, and suddenly the entire direction of the Indiana Fever snapped into focus with ruthless clarity. This is no longer a team trying to figure things out. This is no longer a franchise balancing egos, tiptoeing around chemistry issues, or tolerating misalignment. This is now a system built with a singular purpose: unleash Caitlin Clark at full power. No compromises, no distractions, no resistance. And if you're not aligned with that mission, you're gone.
Period.
Because what fans were seeing for months, the hesitation, the missed connections, the silent tension, it wasn't imagined. It was real. The body language told the story. The broken plays confirmed it. And while the stat sheets tried to paint a picture of efficiency, the truth was far more uncomfortable. Efficiency without synergy is meaningless. Fit matters. Trust matters. And above all, commitment to the system matters. That's where the fracture began. While Clark was pushing pace, elevating everyone, bending defenses, and carrying the identity of the team on her shoulders, not everyone bought in. And in a league where fractions of hesitation can break entire possessions, that disconnect became impossible to hide. Then came the noise, the narratives, the distractions, the shift away from basketball into controversy. Instead of fixing the on-court reality, the focus drifted, and that's when the organization made its choice. Not a small adjustment, not a quiet tweak, a statement.
Loud. Direct.
Unapologetic. This franchise is choosing its future, and that future has a name: Caitlin Clark.
And now
comes the part that should have the entire league paying attention. Because this isn't just subtraction, it's transformation. The Fever aren't just removing what didn't fit, they're aggressively building what does. Toughness.
Edge.
Loyalty. Presence. The kind of presence that changes the temperature of a game without even touching the ball. Because, let's be honest, talent was never the issue. The pieces were there. Scoring, skill, potential, it was all in place. But what was missing was backbone. Protection. That undeniable message that if you come at our superstar, you answer for it. For too long, Clark was targeted, hit, tested, and too often the response was silence. That era is over. What's being built now is something far more dangerous. A system where skill meets attitude, where finesse is backed by force, where every possession carries intent, and every player understands the assignment. This isn't just about winning games anymore. This is about identity. About sending a message before the game even starts. Because once opponents realize that every cheap shot is met with resistance, every aggressive play is answered, everything changes. Hesitation creeps in. Confidence drops. And against a player like Clark, hesitation is fatal. And here's the real warning. This is just the beginning. She's still evolving, still adjusting, still growing. And yet she's already shifting the gravity of the entire league. Now imagine that same player, fully supported, fully protected, fully unleashed. That's not just a star. That's a takeover waiting to happen. And if this system clicks the way it's being built to, the rest of the league won't just be competing with Indiana. They'll be trying to survive it. Then comes the phase that separates contenders from pretenders, the moment where intention turns into identity and identity turns into dominance. Because what Indiana is doing right now isn't just roster construction, it's culture engineering at the highest level. Every move, every addition, every decision is sending a crystal clear message. This team is done being reactive. They're becoming inevitable. The locker room dynamic is shifting from uncertainty to alignment, from quiet tension to unified purpose. And that kind of shift doesn't just change how a team plays, it changes how a team thinks. No more second guessing. No more hesitation about who leads or what the system is. Everyone knows the hierarchy. Everyone knows the mission. And that clarity, that's lethal. Because when you combine clarity with talent, you get execution. And when you combine execution with belief, you get momentum. The kind of momentum that snowballs, that builds game after game until suddenly the league realizes too late, they're not dealing with the same Indiana Fever anymore. This is faster, sharper, more aggressive, more intentional. Every possession now has structure. Every movement has purpose. And most importantly, every player stepping on that floor understands something non-negotiable. You don't just play with Caitlin Clark. You amplify her. You protect her. You elevate the system she drives. That's the new standard. And the players being brought in, they fit that mold perfectly. They're not just skilled. They're wired for it. They bring edge. They bring fight. They bring that intangible presence that doesn't show up in box scores, but completely shifts outcomes. Because basketball at this level isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. And Indiana is preparing to win on both fronts. And just when it feels like the foundation is set, that's when the real separation begins. Because this isn't the ceiling, this is the launch point. What Indiana is building isn't designed for short-term flashes or highlight moments. It's being constructed for sustained dominance. The scary part? They're still early in the process. The chemistry is still forming, the system is still tightening, and Caitlin Clark is still evolving in real time. That's what makes this so dangerous. Because while other teams are trying to maintain their level, Indiana is climbing fast. Every game becomes a step forward. Every adjustment sharpens the machine. And once that rhythm fully locks in, it creates something opponents can't easily disrupt. Flow. The kind of flow where the offense feels effortless, where the ball moves before the defense can react, where spacing is perfect and decisions are instant. That's when Clark becomes unstoppable, not just because of her individual brilliance, but because the system around her amplifies every strength she has. And when that happens, defenses face an impossible choice. Focus on her and get burned by everyone else, or play honest and watch her take over completely. There's no right answer. That's the nightmare scenario. And it's getting closer with every move this team makes. Because this isn't just about putting players on the court, it's about putting them in positions where they believe they're supposed to win. And belief, when backed by structure and talent, turns into inevitability. And when inevitability enters the equation, everything changes, not just for Indiana, but for the entire league. Because now, every team isn't just preparing to play the fever, they're preparing to withstand them. The physicality, the pace, the confidence, the edge, it all stacks up until it becomes overwhelming. This is how power shifts happen in sports. Not slowly, not politely, but all at once, when one team fully commits to its identity while everyone else is still adjusting. And make no mistake, that shift is already in motion. The conversations are changing. The expectations are rising. The pressure is building, not on Indiana, but on everyone else trying to keep up. Because once a team reaches this level of alignment, where the front office, the coaching staff, and the players are all moving in the same direction with zero hesitation, it creates a force that's incredibly hard to stop. And at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, no longer just a rising star, but the engine of a system that's being designed to dominate. If this continues on its current trajectory, we're not just watching a team improve, we're watching the formation of a powerhouse that could redefine the balance of the WNBA. And when that moment fully arrives, when everything clicks and the system reaches its peak, there won't be any more questions, any more doubts, or any more debates. There will only be one reality left for the rest of the league to face, and that is the fact that a new force has taken over, and it's not slowing down for anyone. And this is the moment where pressure flips direction, because for the longest time, all eyes were on Indiana asking if they could figure it out. Now, the question is no longer about whether they can rise, it's about who's ready when they do. Because once a team crosses that invisible line, from potential to precision, there's no going back. The habits become sharper. The confidence becomes louder. The execution becomes automatic. And that's exactly where this is heading. What used to be flashes of brilliance are turning into consistency. What used to be isolated moments are becoming a pattern. And once patterns form in sports, they become identity. Now imagine stepping onto the court knowing that every mistake you make will be punished instantly, every lapse in focus will be exposed, and every possession is being controlled by a player who sees the game 2 steps ahead of everyone else. That's what teams are starting to feel when they face this new version of Indiana. It's not just about defending, it's about surviving the pace, the pressure,